They deceived the public by calling it an open primary when the Supreme Court said it wasn't an open primary, but they also deceived the public when they didn't talk about the two parts of the initiative.
The claim that, volunteers who are collecting signatures somehow deceived the public, it's a baseless claim.
Oh, using his own evidence against him, Judge Patrick Miller dismissed Idaho Attorney General Raul Labrador's last legal attempt to stop an open primary initiative from being on the ballot in November. It's the latest setback for Idaho's AG when it comes to his crusade against open primaries and ranked choice voting. Back in July, the Idahoans for Open Primaries group turned in 97,000 signatures to take the option of open primaries in Idaho to the people. 2 weeks after that, Secretary of State verified they collected enough names to get it on the ballot. The Attorney General filed a lawsuit with the Supreme Court to keep it off the ballot, claiming the signature gatherers made false claims about the initiative to get people to sign the petition. The Supreme Court dismissed that case, saying Labrador leapfrogging to the highest court in the state isn't how it's done. Needs to be decided in a lower district court first. Well, last week it was, less than 24 hours after hearing the case, with Judge Miller saying the evidence put forth by the Attorney General actually negates the idea the defendants made false statements to the thousands of people who signed the petition. And there's even video evidence to back that up. So, Joe Paris is looking at this today. And first, a little bit of a refresher on this initiative process, Joe. It's this nonpartisan primary, to open it up, where the top four then get advanced to the general election, and then it becomes a ranked choice voting thing, correct?
Correct. And in that ranked choice format, in the second half, in the general election, the winner needs at least 50%. If someone doesn't get 50%, the lowest vote getter gets eliminated, and then you rank
them that way. Okay, so does this decision, though, make it just automatically on the ballot in November?
So for now, it would appear this would be the last hurdle that the Idahoans for Open Primaries have to clear. Okay. I'll tell you, I know that the Secretary of State's office is getting ready to print the ballot. So if there was any other changes, it would be a pretty big deal. But yes, it looks like that finally we have our answer. And I asked Luke Mayville with Idahoans for Open Primaries about this concept, this accusation that volunteers were not fully explaining the proposal for the voters. They're only talking about half of the actual changes, according to these critics. Luke tells me, though, that his team has always discussed the entire concept, but there is for sure emphasis on that open primary portion.
Sometimes, you're at a county fair or a public event, you only have 10 to 20 seconds to talk to someone about the initiative. So you do your best with the time you have. But through our website, through our materials, through the information that was always on the clipboards, we had all the information. The open primary portion of this initiative is the most significant change because the biggest problem in Idaho politics is the closed primary. So we're solving, that problem of the closed primary. So in that sense, it is open primaries. That's the core reform, which is why we're called Idahoans for Open Primaries.
But he concedes that obviously this is about two different things: the ranked choice voting aspect and the open primary, one full initiative. So now the focus shifts to the actual campaign at hand.
Always considered these lawsuits to be a sideshow because we never thought that they had any basis in the facts. We always thought that they were really a political stunt by the Attorney General to try to interfere with the election. So now that that sideshow is over, we're excited to just be able to get out into communities all across the state.
And I asked the Attorney General for reaction, and Raul Labrador wrote a statement that says, in part, "We are disappointed with the ruling." Continues saying that Idaho law is very clear. No person may make false statements to obtain signatures for an initiative. My duty is to protect the integrity of the initiative process and to defend the legal rights of all Idaho voters to receive fair and truthful information about initiatives. Goes on to say that the district court's decision is inconsistent with two Idaho Supreme Court decisions that say open primary means something different than the initiative says. And the open primary initiative, Brian, it will be on the ballot coming up in November. Again, though, with the court situations here, I was talking to Luke Mayville this afternoon on our Zoom conversation that we just aired. He said, this is probably the last step, but they were expecting legal challenges. You never know if we'll see another one. We know that the Supreme Court pushed this down to the district court. Who knows if another court would take it up.
What was interesting in this case, and the judge saw this, there was video evidence presented of, I believe, of the kicking off of this initiative petition back in August of 2023. Ryan Spoon is the first vice chair of the Ada County Republican Central Committee. His statements in that lawsuit basically thrown out by the judge, who said, in the court's judgment, Mr. Spoon's summary of what was reflected on the video is not accurate. And that's kind of what happened. They said that actually says the opposite of what you're saying.
And the Idahoans for Open Primaries had said that to me, that, you know, when there's these accusations, these sworn affidavits that they had done wrong, they thought at the time there was no concern. We can see here, we understand why.
All right. Thank you very much, Joe.